Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. I am going to do a real quick little video for you guys. This is going to be like a little immune booster for your winter. So all it is garlic cloves and hanene. Okay, it's thousands and thousands of years old. I've used it for 3 years now, and it's amazing. It's amazing stuff. Like, you get a little sniffle, you get a little scratchy scratch in your throat, and you're like, ploop, down the tube. And, yeah, clears you up good. So, this is a good nip it in the bud type of medicine. I don't know how well it works when you actually have it. So, just a little immune booster for you. If you, I mean, we're all different, right? So if you are like, ew, gross, garlic, don't do it. Don't make yourself do this. You guys, there's so many beautiful, wonderful ways to boost your immune system. It's ridiculous, okay? Get on the internets and have heave-ho. This works really good in conjunction with echinacea too. When working with colds and things like that and symptoms of the like. So it's just an ancient recipe, and it is not. Everybody wants to like have this one shoe fits all thing. No, we are a multitude of different beautiful places and people and things. Our environment, our stress factors, what we expose ourselves to are all indicators that you might need something different for your immune system. Because the people that live like south of the equator aren't going to need the same things that people that live north of the equator. Typically, usually, not always, but usually the medicine that's best for you is in the places where you already live. Typically. Not always, typically. The best like yum for your system is going to be in the soil that you walk in and around every single day, right? And sometimes birthing charts, if you look at your, like if you're a winter born, sometimes you can be more susceptible to these things. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bad about people that are born in the wintertime. There's nothing about that at all. It's just you learn to like deal with it. You learn to work with it. You learn to understand it. I was born in November, so I'm right on that cusp. Like I'm like a kind of allergy kind of type of thing. Honey also works good for allergies. It's got to be local honey though. Like from the little bumblebees that are in your area, because that's going to have the pollen that's already in nature in it, so to speak. So, yeah, if this disgusts you and you find it absolutely like wretched, do not use it. Do not use it. That's just your body's way of telling you this isn't for you. That's the lovely part about medicine. Usually your body is going to signify immediately what's good for you and what's not good for you, right? So there's no shame, no blame, no nothing. Hang on. Is this all stick AK? It is. Hang on. I'm going to go get a different lid quick. So I'll show you a little trick. Okay, sorry. So now, what you do is you stick them all in there and shake them up really good. Usually, I have the kids help me with this, but they're getting so much older now. They're like, oh. But we still like to sit around the table and peel garlic and chit-chat. Okay. Now, you probably noticed it didn't do much. But it did, however, loosen up the garlic really, oh, it smells so good. So it loosened up the garlic really nicely. And so now You just peel that outer layer right off. And you're going to put the whole garlic clove in there. You're not going to do anything to it. You're not going to smash it. You're not going to smush it. This is the fermented version. This is not the like cutting up and whatchamacallit. What do you call that? I think they just like they chop it and then they just put some honey on the spoon with the chopped garlic and then down it that way. This is fermented. So this is 3-4 months old, maybe. And you can see it's like really soupy. And the garlic cloves have gotten darker. That's supposed to happen. There's some people that it turns blue or black. So let's talk quick about organics. That's an emotional topic for a lot of people, and I totally understand because they are expensive and food prices are skyrocketing right now. So I totally get it. There's no shame in not getting organic. There's no shame. You can't be doing this to each other. So the only thing I'm leery about is the chemicals that are sprayed on the food. And there's a lot of people out there that are currently purchasing only organics, which are helping the rest of us get there, right? So this is organic. The honey is organic and local. But this is like kind of like a yearly thing that we always do, and I always keep honey on hand. I don't use it very often, but I always keep it on hand. Honey doesn't really go bad. So, and I actually get this as like gifts from different people, and they're like, hey, can you make me that stuff again? I'm like, yeah. So it's totally up to you. There's no shame if you can't. There's no right or wrong way. You do what you can for your family, right? And I will say that it's not just glyphosate that's really bad. It's not glyphosate. Okay, they put, and it's not just Roundup either. They put a chemical called D4R2 in it. And what that means in layman's terms is napalm, Agent Orange, the stuff they used in Vietnam. Okay, so when we're talking about genetically modified human beings, that's what we're talking about. So we do have to be careful. We do have to be mindful. We do have to do our research and understand that these things do have an effect on us on a long-term basis, right? So as much as we don't like our weeds in the garden, we can also use different remedies for keeping the weeds at bay. And sometimes the weeds are going to turn out to be really good medicine for us. So sometimes, a lot of the times, I'll let them grow and see what they are before I pick them. Because a lot of times, like dandelions are so amazing. Dandelions are gorgeous medicine. Right? You use the blooms. You can use the whole of it. The flowers, the stems, the leaves, the roots. It's medicinal on every single level, right? And they spread like wildfire. So it's an easy medicine to have around. Plantain is another one. That's that broadleaf that kind of grows really close to the ground. That's a good antiseptic and pain reliever for wounds. So yeah, I let my weeds grow. I'm one of those people. And I'm also one of those people that's trying... Ooh, that one is cool. Okay, so one of those people that's trying to get all that pesky grass off my lawn and fill it with perennials and pollinator-loving plants that bring in the bees, the butterflies, the hummingbirds, replenish the soil. Oh, what else? So garlic. What is garlic good for? It's a good antiseptic. It's a good antifungal. and antibacterial. And it does need to be crushed in order to be, whatchamacallit. So you just pop one in your mouth and chew it. Now, sometimes I will put this in like salads or soup, but know that like if you bring it to a boil, it's going to boil off some of the medicinal qualities of it. So just be mindful of that if you're using this in anything. So honey is good. It's a nice protein, and I don't overuse it. I know people get really pissed off. Like, bees need the honey. Yes, they do. I totally agree with that, but I don't overuse it. This is pretty, I don't even put tea or honey in my tea anymore, because you just get to a point where you're like, I don't really need it. You just get used to the flavor of the tea, and then you actually enjoy the flavor of the tea, so you don't really feel like it has to happen. So, say you've got like one whole bulb. So, this is a bulb. These are individual cloves. Okay. So you've got that, and then you just pour in your honey. And I gauge it. I don't measure anything. I just gauge it. It needs to be covered, though. Your cloves of honey need to be covered all the way securely. Da, 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 da. Yep, that's how that works. Okay, so they're all covered. See, that's the most important part. That they're all going to be coated, and they will float to the surface. Okay. The cat's like, excuse me. Sorry. It's okay, Sophia. Okay. So, that is your lovely little I don't feel good thing. So, it's going to take a while for it to get slushy like this, right? So you just mix it and you keep rotating it. Oftentimes when I start them out like this, I'll have to flip them so they keep coated with honey. So every single day when you wake up, you're going to coat them, and then you're going to crack the lid and let the air out, because this is going to ferment, and the fermentation process will produce gas. So you just need to crack the lid every single day for about 7 to 10 days. And then it's ready to use. It's ready to go. And this is about 2-3 months old. Okay. And now I've seen people have this like 2 years old, and it's like black, and it's still good. Okay. So don't let the color scare you. Some people say it turns blue. Some people say it turns black. Whatever it is, it's fine. Okay, just make sure you keep it sealed and out of the sunlight, which we're in right now, but that's okay. I keep this in one of my bottom pantry cabinets. No sun, and it's nice and cool down there. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. I'm totally honored that you felt like the message connected, and that you got something from the read. I really appreciate all the likes, shares, and subscribes. And I hope to continue this on and, help you guys out on this multi-leveled human experience that we're having together. Okay? I love you. Have a beautiful week and an empowered winter season. Okay. I love you. Keep the flame.